Blessings, blessings. We are back with another astrological analysis here in 5D Mystery School. Before we get started, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to this channel. And if you know somebody that would benefit from watching this content, that would like this content, go ahead and share this content as well. It really helps the channel, and I'm grateful for you doing that. So we have a few things to cover today. We're just going to get straight into it. I usually say, hey guys, it's going to be like a 5 or 10 minute video. I'm not going to do that today because I usually don't know how long these things are going to end up being. So sit back, relax, get a notepad, take some notes if you feel, like that will help you. And let's get into it. All right, we're diving straight in. I have the chart here for District of Columbia. When I say we, I'm just referring to you, 5D Mystery School, the students, the class, whoever is watching, and myself. So we have Washington, D.C., District of Columbia. Um, Side notes, it's very interesting that it's called District of Columbia. We can revisit that in another video, foreign entity. So this, I will preface this by saying that you can see here that the time is 12 p.m. The exact time I could not find online, so the ascendant might be incorrect. The generational planets are usually correct, like Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, even Jupiter, but some of them, depending on like Uranus is good. So the sun is at 2413 degrees. The sun could that could be right. The sun moves like a degree per day. But some of these could be off. So I just wanted to mention that. Like Chiron here is at 2 degrees 59 minutes. That could be off. It could be like at 3 degrees, So just want to think it's important that I mention that. Um, I don't see anything else. Okay. So you can see here that for the District of Columbia, they have the midheaven is at the 22nd degree, and the midheaven could be off, but we're just going to go at the 22nd degree. Okay, so you have Mars here that is on the 20th, that is going to be at the 24th degree retrograding. Okay. Um, so Mars is going to be conjunct. The sun is going to be conjunct the midheaven in the 10th house. Now, the 10th house is the house of public image. It's the house of, it's on the side of the chart that is like the day side that everybody can see. It's the side that deals with the public. Okay. So the 10th house is pretty much like, and if an event takes place here, everybody's going to witness it. Okay. So since the midheaven here, if the 22 degrees is correct, since it's at the 22nd degree, something with the security surrounding like District of Columbia, any important events that day. Like I mentioned in the other video about, the security. There's something about the security that I've been seeing that's popping up in these charts that could be an issue, either for Trump's rally or for the inauguration. Just I'm seeing security problems pop up, and that's been intuitively and astrologically. Okay. We have the moon here at the 22nd degree. That's in the 12th house. The moon also deals with security. Okay. And it's conjunct Mars and it's in the house of hidden enemies. So this can be hidden enemies, meaning enemies of the United States that could be posing as allies, right? But could switch sides, could switch sides. And we do have Juno here. Deals with portrayal. Juno is in a Mars deacon, and it's in the sign of like foreign, like adversaries. Could be foreign partners as well, but I just usually say what I feel intuitively. Okay. Um, we also have just kind of laying down the groundwork before I get into it. We have Neptune at the 22nd degree in the first house. Okay. And Libra represents open enemies. And uh, Lilith is going to be at the 22nd degree. So it's like, honestly, if something were to happen in DC, it would be like the night prior to, not meaning like in a big event happening in the night, but like somebody setting up something during the night when people are asleep to happen the next day, you know? Like it can be a definitely like and the moon is going to be in the first house here. The moon is going to be at the 10th degree. Again, 10th degree is like deals with presidents, deals with government, and the moon is going to be conjunct the ascendant. Again, the moon deals with security. So it's really like open enemies taking advantage of any type of security mishaps um, that could, lead them to set up something during the night, rig something during the night for a malfunction to happen the following day. And although you have Neptune in a Mercury decan, which can involve like explosives in a vehicle, this could be, but the thing with the Neptune here at the 22nd degree is that like if something were to happen, it wouldn't be automatically rectified. They wouldn't be able to locate the who did it immediately because Neptune would bring in this air of confusion, this energy of like, wait, who did it? Nobody's claiming responsibility. So it might not be resolved right away. It might just be chaos. Now, y'all, I hope that everything I'm saying is wrong. I hope that nothing happens. I'm just telling you when I read these charts, I'm just showing you possibilities, possible timelines of things that could take place. Now, if nothing happens, that doesn't mean the astrology was wrong. That just means a different timeline was taken. Okay. Now, as I read this right now, I'm not seeing any gridlock degrees. When I say gridlock, that means that I would say, hey, this is actually going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like this is this event, you can't escape this event. I'm not seeing that yet, but as I go through, if I do see it, I will call it out. But with this Lilith being at the 22nd degree conjunct Neptune, this is something that I mean, listen, don't play with it. This is something that could happen during the night, with the car, with explosives by the water, and this is the Neptune is conjunct the ascendant here. All right. So in Libra, so this is like damaging the actual like structure, the infrastructure of Washington, D.C. You have Mars here at the 27th degree conjunct the moon at the 22nd degree. Now, let me see if so we got the moon 22. Y'all know I'm freestyling, so y'all give me a minute in between to kind of say things in my brain to show it to you. I do have a lot of articles and stuff here I want to show you, so we're going to get to that in a second. But we have Neptune, the transiting Neptune that's going to be opposing the natal Mars. Okay. We have doo, 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 transiting Venus, transiting Saturn, transiting Neptune. It's all going to be opposing the moon. And this is taking place in the sixth house, the house of bad omens. The Lord of the Six is in oh, yeah, that's a 22nd degree. So, mm, Yeah, this would definitely, of Saturn here, Saturn would bring in that restriction, meaning like trapping people in a certain situation. Um, Hopefully water's not involved, but mm, this can cripple finances as well because Venus is here at the 16th degree. The 16th degree talks about security as well. Okay, the 16th degree is about security. So it could um and if the way that this could play out, the fact that this is opposing the moon, mm, this would bring in like explosions, but more so like I keep going to back to car explosives, like something including like an automobile. If this was, you know, in Aquarius, it would be more like drones. But since it's Virgo, it's even more like the people of this were to happen, this would mean like since it's opposing Neptune and it's opposing the North Node, this would definitely bring in confusion on who did it, but it would be like the hidden enemies are very like precise and calculated enough to where like they have planned this thing so it wouldn't go wrong to cripple the security of Washington, D.C., or even honestly, even like paying people that are supposed to be working security that day, but they're like infiltrators, that type of thing. That's how this situation could play out. What about, and you have Pluto that's going to be opposing Uranus. Now, Pluto in the fifth house is going to be opposing Uranus in the 11th house. Now, this Uranus at the eighth degree in a sun deacon, excuse me, this could bring about, casualties to multiple people, including like something that is connected to fire, explosives, bright lights, bright explosions. It's going to be something that is people are just like caught up in the moment, caught up in like the hype of what's happening, and then really it's going to catch them off guard if something were to happen. And with this um Mars, I'm sorry, let me drink some water here. With this Mars here so close to the midheaven, this is what if the midheaven is really at the 22nd degree, and it sucks I don't have the accurate time. It sucks I don't have the accurate time because that could really throw off a reading for real. But if Mars is conjunct the midheaven and midheaven at 22nd degree, then we most likely Mars is at the 24th degree. Yeah, this would bring in like explosions, but people being confused because the 24th degree is the degree of like Pisces. It's a higher Pisces degree. So it definitely brings in, since Pisces is like or Neptune is a higher octave of Mercury, then it's an evolved Neptune can be dangerous because they like see the entire picture. It's like using your abilities for um, nefarious reasons, So it's like the whole situation has been calculated, and they want to make sure that if something were to happen to the structural integrity of the District of Columbia, it would happen in front of everybody, and nobody would know who did it at first, but eventually they would claim responsibility once the smoke clears. Um, This is for the 19th. I mean, it's only a day apart, but degrees can change. You see Mars here is at the 25th degree. right? Degrees can change in a day. So this is the 19th, and this is during Trump's march, Trump's victory rally. Now, I want to talk about Trump's victory rally. Okay, so this is the chart for Donald Trump, and this is for what day is this for? I believe this is for the 20th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Jan. Okay, this is for the 20th. So on that day, Trump's going to have Saturn, Neptune uh, squaring his and Venus squaring his sun. Okay. Now, where's the chart for Donny Boy? Did I bring it up? Let me grab the chart for Trump. Oh, let me 1 second. Let me pause it so you won't see all the names I have on. So on January the 20th, you're going to have over here in the eighth house of physical death, all of this energy, Neptune, Saturn, Venus, squaring his sun at the 22nd degree. Okay. Now, the reason why this is important is because over here, you're going to have, well, Jupiter, thankfully, is not going to be conjunct. Jupiter is going to be right outside of the 10-degree conjunction window. So you're going to have his sun, and the sun rules his first house. Okay, so in this first house, you have Pluto, you have Mars, and you have the ascendant. Now, the Lord of the first is in the 10th. That means that the 10th is his chart, the sun is his chart ruler, or it's not the Lord of the first is in the 11th. The sun is his chart ruler, and the sun is at the 22nd degree. Another way you can look at that is it's a fated position for Donald Trump. So, I mean, you have Saturn that's going to be at the 16th degree. That's a Cancer degree, indicating security, comfort. And you have Neptune that's going to be at the 27th degree. Okay. And that's Gemini. So, with both of those things, and Venus here is going to be at the 16th degree. Again, it's a Cancer degree. So it's issues. There's going to be issues surrounding, like I said in the other video, there's so it might sound like a broken record. And y'all, if y'all stay for the articles and stuff I have, I'm gonna tie all this stuff together. So if this astrology stuff is boring to you, trust me, I'm gonna speed it up, but I have to just lay down the groundwork. I appreciate you watching. Um, so it's going to be issues surrounding his security. There's going to be a lot of confusion around his security. It's going to be and Pisces, rules over the house of hidden enemies. So Pisces, when you see the sign of Pisces, it can indicate hidden enemies. There are hidden enemies that are influencing his security, his intel. His people have his schedule. People know what he's going to be doing, where he's going to be at, right? And the fact that you have that square in his sun, and his sun is in Gemini, and his sun is conjunct the North Node in Gemini. What you can call this is a fated situation that's going to happen, and it would happen like spontaneously. The fact that it's in the 11th house that's usually ruled by Uranus, and it's in a Uranus decan, right? So this is actually like corporations that could be, let me know, that could be investing in the malfunctioning of his security. Like corporations are invested in this, corporations that are against his agenda. Okay. house of hidden enemies, you have Mars here. And Mars on the day of the inauguration is going to be at the 24th degree, but the day prior is going to be at the 25th degree, okay? Indicating explosions, fire, gunpowder, bloodshed, like all that type of stuff. And the fact that Mars is going to be conjunct Saturn at the 23rd degree, that is restriction, like trapping somebody in a large, like surrounded by large groups of people, security malfunctioning, and people being able to set off some type of destruction. If it happened on the inauguration day, it would be, it would be like anonymous. We don't know who did it. If it happened on the 19th, it would be just it would be a chaos event. Now, this chaos event would stun people from wanting to, it would just kind of like stun the public to where they kind of forget about the TikTok ban. They kind of forget about any kind of, it's like it would scare people to fall in order. It'd be like a 9/11 type of event where people feel kind of scared to go outside, that type of thing. And the fact that you have Mercury in his 12th house at the 8th degree. Oh, Lord, that is again, this is in a moon deacon in the sign of Cancer. So what that indicates, I hope that I try to keep these readings as basic as possible so everybody can understand, okay? But what this can indicate is somebody slipping in like a nearby vehicle, a white van, some type of explosions, right? That could, from a hidden enemy, that could cripple, you know, first of all, it would be a problem with security in the first place, right? Due to the hands of its hidden enemies. All right. We're seeing the same thing pop up in a lot of charts here, but it's Mercury. So this could be like, a kamikaze type of situation, like somebody sacrificing themselves or in a nearby vehicle. So it's kind of like the foreshadowing of what you saw at the Trump Tower, like the Cybertruck exploding at the Trump Tower. Like that is a foreshadowing event. Okay. So one thing I want to point out here, actually, let's go. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this. Let's finish this up first because I'm about to get cooking here in a second. Let him cook. Does anybody say that about themselves? Anyway, um, so let me finish up here with Donald Trump. So yeah, I'm just kind of laying down the groundwork of showing you what different things of what could happen here. And again, in his seventh house of open, oh, excuse me. I just ate lunch and I gotta drink some water. 1 second. So in the seventh house of open enemies, you have Pluto that's going to be transiting here. Okay. And on the day of the inauguration, if the inauguration goes now, you're going to have the sun conjunct Pluto. Now, this is a very important transit. This is a very important transit because the sun shines light on any situation that it is next to. Okay, the sun's going to be at the zero, like 0 degree, just coming in. So it's going to be the strongest when you have a planet or luminary that's at the 0 degree. It's a very potent degree. That is the epitome of that sign expressing itself. Now, on the day, January 20th here, you're going to have the transiting Pluto, right? In his house of open enemies and the sign of Aquarius, representing big business. Donald Trump be beefing with a lot of corporations, okay, openly. Got a lot of open like corporations that show open disgust for him. All right. But Pluto at the first degree is going to be opposing the Pluto, his natal Pluto in his first house. Now, the reason why this is important is because Pluto is a sun deacon in Leo. This is his identity. This is his like physical identity in the house of the I am, his incarnation, his soul identity, right? So if something were to happen, just to make it short and sweet, it could bring about um, somebody contracting to take him out in front of everybody. This would be like a contracted unaliving in front of everybody, just to keep it short and simple. And it'd be done in a way to where it's like big, explosive, like on a large scale, because this is in a sign of Leo. Now we know that whatever Jupiter kind of touches, it expands, but let's not forget Leo is connected to the ego. Leo is connected to like a big, like grandiose theater type of event. Okay. So, which is why Trump is who he is, because he has his ascendant at the 29th degree, like Mr. Ego. But now I just want to make sure I don't want to sound repetitive, so I'm not going to go over too many other things in his chart. Just skipping over to the good stuff. We talked about Capital One Arena, talked about Donald Trump, talked about District of Columbia. Okay. Just to kind of revisit Capital One Arena really quickly. Um, see if I see anything else. Yeah, I mean, oh Lord. Yeah, so you're gonna have, man, so you're gonna have the transiting Mars, which is gonna be in Cancer, right? That's going to be opposing Mars, right? But you're also going to have the moon, which is going to be in Libra again, open enemies. That's going to be squaring Mars. Now, this could bring about a disaster, just to keep it quite frank. This could be a disaster because Mars here is at the 18th degree, it's conjunct the moon, um, and is coincidentally in the sign of Capricorn, representing government, representing presidents. And you're also going to have on that day Mercury that's going to be at the 17th degree, which is a Leo degree, that's going to be conjunct um, Mars. Now, the transit degrees aren't severe. So this is an event that's like, it could happen, but it will be like damn near an explosion at the front door. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's bring the fucking roof down. And I think that that's so symbolic for Capital One, because Capital One outage continues for second day as thousands report deposit issues. I think that's symbolic that Capital One is having all these problems, and the Trump's victory rally is taking place at Capital One Arena. Could those things be connected? Could this be a reach? It could be, but these things definitely could be connected. Okay. Now, with this TikTok ban that's taking place, it's interesting that a lot of people are heading over to Red Note, right? And I saw here on Reddit, you all remember this Red Note from Leave the World Behind, the film? And in the film, they were saying like they don't know who is taking responsibility for the destruction that was going on in America, but the names that were mentioned were like China and Iran, I believe. Iran was in there, I believe. Um, and somebody did a translation of what this says. I'm going to stop where it says note, because it's just right here at this part. This is just a note from the interpreter, but it says, We order that you pay attention to this brochure. We own the most dangerous and destructive bombs in the history of the world, and we give to you this frightening truth so you can contemplate about it. And we're reassured that what we are saying is right. Okay. It was a red note. Now, the app is actually called Little Red Book, but people have been calling it Red Note. I find that intriguing just because that term, that phrase, it kind of like subconsciously it's alarming. Red Note. Okay. So in gematria, Red Note is 81 in simple gematria. It's 284 in Hebrew gematria, 486 is English gematria. Now, the thing that's so interesting about this is that you have other things that has the same gematria makeup. And this is 911 rebirth, which is very Pluto coded. 119. Now, Trump is having his victory rally on 119. Trump is having his victory rally on 119, which backwards is 911. Very interesting. Now, on the day of um, the the victory rally, Mercury is actually going to be at the 15th degree. That's the Gemini degree. Mercury rules over the 15th degree. That's a Mercurian degree, right? Indicating vehicles. Now, Pallas here, Pallas, Athena, let's not skip over her. All right. Pallas is going to be at the ninth, wait, 19th degree of open enemies. Very calculated, very, very calculated. So whenever Pallas Athena is involved, Pallas is a pattern recognizer. So if something were to happen, and I think it's interesting that all of this energy here is taking place in the eighth house of physical death. If something were to happen, it'd be very calculated, right? Like this explosion, this event would be very calculated. Like we got you locked. We know your routine. This is going to take place. So I just think it's interesting that Red Note has this gematria, and also Sniper is shares the same gematria. Sniper shares the same gematria. Date of death. Date of death. Sacrificial lamb. 119. Red Note. Trump's victory rally taking place on 119 at 3 p.m. The Make America Great Again victory rally. 3 p.m. in planetary hours, 3 p.m. is a sun hour. Okay. 3 p.m. is a sun hour. Iran Supreme Leader threatens US and Israel with a crushing response over Israeli attack. Will Trump strike Iran or strike a deal? And I remember last time Trump was in office, he had a problem with Iran. I don't know why Iran is coming up, but I'm just following this intuitively. Um, Trump attack, was it related to New Orleans? Now, the attacker, look at the name of the attacker. Okay. I believe they were saying this attacker was connected to ISIS. New Orleans attacker was inspired by ISIS. Now, ISIS is connected to Iran. ISIS is connected to Iran. There are sleeper cells in the USA waiting for orders to cause destruction. I posted this April of last year. Sleeper cells, meaning that, these sleeper cells can go live and blow up, you name it, train stations, stadiums, major events to kind of cripple the integrity, the structural integrity of the United States, the morale, to incite fear. Now, I was watching um, Silo. And, I'm a firm believer in predictive programming, like things that are put in television shows and films to kind of like condition your mind of something that could happen. It's like could be like a universal rule, like the people who carry out the attack kind of have to warn the public of what's going to happen, in the first place. So I noticed that this magazine was on the table. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but right here it says the new normal, and it's somebody like in a hazmat suit, somebody in a hazmat suit, the new normal. And it says public spaces in an unsafe world. What does that indicate? Radioactivity. Radioactivity. What does Pluto and Aquarius represent? Radioactivity. Pluto rules over radioactivity. Aquarius is for us, for the collective, for large groups of people. So that's something that I will continuously watch out for while Pluto's in Aquarius, like some type of event that takes place. And now that could cause people to, as far-fetched as it sounds, to wear hazmat suits or to stop going outside so much because of the radioactivity in the air. Like I put it on my prediction list for this year, toxic skies. When I say toxic, I do mean radioactivity, that type of toxicity. Now, another interesting thing that took place in the show, the same show, in this conversation that they were having, is they were talking about a dirty bomb. Spoiler alert, this was the last episode of Silo, but they said, you know, the guy was asking the lady on their blind date or whatever it was, a date. It's like, where were you when the event happened? And with the event, they were talking about a dirty bomb from Iran in Washington, D.C. Y'all, a dirty bomb in Washington, D.C. from Iran. And they were talking about this in Silo. And then they had this magazine on the table, the new normal. And y'all know why they were in the silo. Come on, man. Come on. So I'm not sure if we've seen the last of this, man. I'm not sure if we've seen the last of this. I do believe that, um, I believe it was let me see, the Trump Tower. This is foreshadowing. I even asked, usually try to get like the right time for events. So they say Capital One Arena was opened up at 5:30. So if this is the right time, then that reading on Capital One was correct. But I do believe that this this was just the beginning. Now, interesting enough, y'all go take a look at one of the last TikTok posts from the city of Las Vegas. Let me see if I can pull it. Is there any way I can pull that up? Hold up. Oh, look at this. This was posted 3 days ago for Las Vegas. What? The actual fiduci is that, bro? What in the big Newton? So, mm, 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 mm. Yeah, this was only, and they're even in this article, they're saying, was it related to the New Orleans attacker? You know? Hmm. So, yes, indeed, a big event could take place, y'all. A big event could take place, man. And it could be from these outside influences, you know? Hmm. Trying to see if I see anything else before we get out of here. Um, mm. Just a few things to keep your eye on, man. Just a few things to keep your eye on. I believe I went over everything that I wanted to cover. So yeah, man. Y'all keep your head on a swivel. I know today is the 18th. Let me let me close this out 1 second. I know today's the 18th. I've heard that a lot of people are going to be going out protesting the TikTok ban today. Um, just the number 18 in general. I wouldn't go out today. I wouldn't be any large crowds. I don't think that I'm not sure if anything would happen today because if something were planned for tomorrow, it could definitely ruin that attack for tomorrow. So um, I would just be careful if I were going out today. I already saw one protest today when I went to the grocery store. I was like, whoa, what is happening? So y'all just be careful. Y'all keep your head on a swivel. I've already told y'all to stay out of large groups of people if possible. It's not something that I would recommend right now. Um, but let's hope nothing happens, man. Let's hope that this is a smooth transition of power, that hopefully this is the beginning of the turnaround for this country. But I don't know. I don't know. A revolution is loading. A revolution is coming. Everybody feels it. If you're intuitive, you can feel it. With our freedom of speech being hampered, being restricted by, taking away TikTok, and then people go over to Red Note, and then now they're saying they want to ban Red Note. You're gonna, we're gonna burn the circus. The bread is stale. You know, the revolution is loading. Over the past few years, I've been talking about how to prepare for certain events, like blackout events, food scarcity events. I've been telling y'all to get seeds for the past 5 years. Um, just a few things I would recommend before I get out of here. Make sure you have a local map. Make sure you know how to navigate your area with a map, without a map. Make sure you know basic self-defense. If you don't know how to fight, just make sure you know basic self-defense. If you do have supplies, do not tell your neighbors about them. Don't even tell, keep it to yourself. Um, if you can, go get like a jug, like a 5 gallon jug of water, store that somewhere. Get some non-perishable food, store that somewhere. Get yourself, if you can, like a ham radio, like a light that you can crank that is not battery operated. seeds, a life straw so you can, if possible, if needed, you can drink from open water sources and turn that water into clean drinking water. Get a survival book that will teach you a lot of these things. You can also, um, what was I going to say? You can also, get you like spend like $20, $25 and get you like a survival backpack from Amazon. These are just a few things that I would do, man. So again, let's hope nothing happens. Y'all stay safe. Take care of yourself. Be prepared for anything. Much love, y'all. Peace.